Okay, guys, let's do lesson 1-5. It's on page 18 in your book. Now, you'll notice this is a yellow lesson, and a yellow lesson is always going to be problem solving. Sometimes the problem solvings are a little bit different or kind of out of the box. Sometimes they are incredibly simple. And today is one of those incredibly simple lessons because it's literally asking you to look for a pattern. And yes, the kind of pattern that you learned in kindergarten. So we should not have too many issues today. I'm not concerned, and you should not be either. Because literally, this is going to be like red, blue, black, red, blue, black, red, blue, black. Or 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, finding that pattern. But sometimes skip counting is actually a pattern as well. Your pattern is to add 3 each time. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. So what you're going to be doing in this lesson is basically looking at what you've got and making the pattern and finding what comes next. So let's look at number 1. Julia is printing files. The first file is 2. The second file is 4. The third file is 6. And the fourth file is 8. I wonder what the pattern is here. What is the next one going to be? I don't know if you can tell. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 is what comes next. Now, here's where you can get into trouble. You can go, done, found what the next one is, moving on. Well, guess what? If you stopped here, you're wrong. Because the question was, if the pattern continues, how many pages will be in the 8th file? Well, we just did 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th file. So we did not answer the question correctly. And this is the problem when we have something incredibly simple. We rush through it and we don't read it fully because we go, easy, duh, I can figure this out. Move on, please. But you can make a careless mistake that way. And the worst kind of mistake to make is a careless one because you could have completely 100% totally avoided it if you had read the whole thing and if you were careful. So just because something is like stupid easy, read the whole thing still. Take your time and give it just the same amount of effort that you would 26 times 21. Okay? It won't take you as long to answer it as 26 times 21, but you will have spent every moment you can making sure you got it right. So if this is the 8th file that we're looking for and we're only at the 5th, we have 2 options. I can go, okay, well, if this is the 4th file and I'm looking for the 8th file, then that's just going to be double this, right? Well, let's double 8, 16. Or I could continue the pattern. After 10 would be 12, and that's my 6th. After 12 would be 14, that's my 7th. And after 14 would be 16, that's my 8th. So there's 2 ways I could have solved that. Okay, let's look at number 2. What multiplication facts can you use to help find the answer to problem 1? So my multiplication, we talked about 8 being doubled. So I could have done 8 times 2 equals 16, and that would have helped me find it. For number 3, write a problem. No thanks, I'm not going to do that. You don't have to do it either. So let's look at number 4. Look for a pattern. Use the pattern to find the missing numbers. 5, 10, 15, 20. What's next? You know this. For number 5, 9, 18, 27. Okay, if it starts at a 9, what do you think you're counting by? You're skip counting by 9s. You know how to do that. Remember, counting up and counting down. For number 6, look for a pattern. Draw the next 2 shapes. Okay, this you're going to actually have to draw. So does it have to be perfect and beautiful looking? No, it doesn't. But it needs to be somewhat nice. And notice how I didn't give you space. I didn't number it out for you already. You're going to have to do it yourself. But there's not a lot on here, and I need you to have plenty of space to draw things. So for number 4 is where you're starting. You can answer that, no problem. 5, 10, 15, 20. For number 5, you can answer that. 9, 18, 27, no problem. For number 6, draw it out. Make the circle. You don't have to fill it in, but draw the next 2 shapes. Okay, so I need to draw the next 2 shapes. So if it goes like this, sometimes I say what I see. So left, top, right, bottom. Left, what comes next? If I'm going to follow, top, right. And then I would draw it because that's what it asked me to do. Same thing with the triangle. The triangle one's kind of funky looking because there's 2 that are moving around. Okay, and that I do need to color in. So do they have to look beautiful? No. Do they have to be completely symmetrical? No. As long as they show what happens with the pattern, it's fine. So pay attention to how it's moving around. So I notice how it's on the bottom and then it's sort of like flipped to its side. And then it's flipping again. So it's sort of like it's rolling. So what would come next? Now, if this is here and then this is here, all I have to do is figure out what comes after this one again, because this is the start of a new pattern. So really, the answers are right in front of you. You're going to go all the way to 16 in here, but remember, you've got your daily Common Core to do. You're going to read this. I'm not going to read it out loud to you this time. You're going to read this by yourself. You're going to take your time because remember, on this page especially, it's not everything that we've learned. It's reviewing. It's going back. Here's estimation. Here's an order from least to greatest. Here's figuring out what number sentence to use. So this is all different. And again, put your name on it. On the back of it, that's where you're making the pattern. You're finishing the pattern. You're reading to see what comes next. You're looking at this table to see which one he would have 390 savings, which month he would have 390 savings. Now, I am going to look at this one with you. So pay attention, please. The table shows how much money Oscar has in his savings. In which month will he have $390 in savings? Explain why. This is going to take some work here. So look very carefully. Watch. 3, 6, 9. So what's happening? Each month he is gaining $30, right? We're skip counting. Don't even look at the zeros. Just skip count by 3s. 3, 6, 9. So what will come next? 12, 15, 18. Add a 0. So that means what comes after March? March, April, May, June. Okay, so you need to know your months of the year and what order they go in, and you need to know how to skip count by 3s. You're going to stop when you get to 39. Now, there are ways that you can avoid making a long list, but if that's what you need to do, that's fine. What comes after 18? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. You can keep going. You can go all the way over here too, and just keep writing what the next month is. April, May, June, July, August, and then keep going until you get to that number. Now, there are other ways you can do it. Don't forget to add the zeros on the end. But I'm not going to show you that because I want to see how you're going to work it out and what you decide to do. Okay? When you're done with that, tear it out, turn it in, and then go back to the independent practice. This won't take you long to do. So when you do finish, go to IXL, 1.5. There's a bunch of stuff here. And then you can go to the game, 1.5. And of course, any other game that you've already played that we've done before recently, you can. You just can't go ahead. You can always go back, but you can't go ahead. All right, off you go.